Hello everyone, so this will be part 2 of my series on short videos on Polygon.io's API. In this video I'll show you how to get historical data for every stock symbol. It'll be daily data. I do have a similar video where I did this with Yahoo Finance, but not on every ticker. I did it for all the S&P 500 and for the Russell 1000, but here the API lets you do it for every ticker very nicely, so let's get started. The prerequisite video, of course, is the first video where I show you how to get set up, so we won't repeat that right now. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is, like in the previous video, we're gonna need to install the Polygon API client for Python. So pip install Polygon API client. Okay, and then like in the previous video, we go to the dashboard, we get the API key, we put it in the secrets place for Google Colab, and if you're not using Google Colab, you can handle it a different way, maybe make it an environment variable. But if you're using Google Colab, you can use this nice thing where you do user data.get, whatever you called it here, and then you get your API key. Or you could just copy your API key here. Either of those ways is fine. This is more proper, I guess. So now we connect to the client, like in the last video. We do from Polygon import REST client, and then we do client equals REST client my API key. Okay, so now all we have to do is call this function. This will get us 1 day worth of open, high, low, close volume data for all the stocks. It's not a paginated endpoint, so like the last video, we don't have to do limits, unlike in the last video. So all you do is something like this. You do grouped equals client that get group daily ags, and you put a date. I guess the AI knows what I want to do, so let's use their date suggestion. Date equals 2024. Let's do 2/14. Let's hope the market was open. Length grouped. This is all you have to do, and so you get a 10,500, a list of 10,501. So let's just look at a few. You could do grouped. Let's look at the first 3 or you see we have the ticker, open, high, low, close volume, VWAP, and timestamp in a little bit of ugly format, and if it's over the counter or not. So we can create a pandas data frame with this. Of course, we can do import pandas as PD because we want to use pandas as much as possible. And then we can do df equals pd.dataframe grouped, and then we can do df.head. And again, you'll notice that the timestamp is in this ugly format, so we can convert that. We can do df timestamp, timestamp equals pd.to datetime df timestamp, and make sure you do unit equals microsecond. So now we do df.head, and you get the timestamp in a nice format. Okay, so you can also include over-the-counter stocks, by the way, if you do include over-the-counter is true. And I just showed you this as an example. You get like slightly more stocks. You get, instead of previously we had df.shape 0, we had like 10,501. Now we have 14,000, 15,000 basically. Okay, so now is what we really want. We want daily prices for every stock ticker, and we don't want just 1 day. So how we do that, we can iterate through dates. We'll create like a list of data frames, and it will concatenate together at the end with pd.concat. But because we're using the free version of the API, we can only make 5 API calls a minute. So to handle that, we're going to pause for a minute with time.sleep every 5 calls. And also, one quick aside is we'll just use Pandas market calendar to get the last 10 trading days. You can increase, you can make it last 2 years, whatever. Anyways, I should say the trading days for the last 10 days is what I'm doing. Anyways, I don't want to get into too much detail with this, and it might not be perfectly accurate because I'm using the New York Stock Exchange calendar. But I think it's good enough for now. You'll install Pandas market calendar, and then you can do NYCE, New York Stock Exchange equals get calendar. You give it an end and start time. I did from today to 10 days ago, and then you get the schedule, and then you get the trading dates. So at the end, you'll see how it looks like. It'll be about 7 days because I used 10 real days, so 7 trading days about. Okay, so here are the trading days. So now we're going to loop through these, and remember, every 5 we have to pause for a minute. So we're going to need the import time, because we're going to need time.sleep. df list is going to be our list of data frames. Then we're going to do for I date enumerate trading dates. And I guess you could say getting data for date if you really want. We're going to call the group thing, but and then we're going to create a data frame from it. Wow, the AI was really good this time. It filled everything perfectly. We create the data frame from it. What we call this group daily ags. Maybe we'll do include over the counter is true just for the hell of it. And then so we're going to do that. And then we're going to get the data frame. I guess I did it in 2 lines. And then make the timestamp readable and then append to data frame. But remember, we want to sleep every 1 minute, every 5 calls. So I guess it remembers my previous code. So with I mod 5 equals 0, that means every 5 things. But remember, it starts with I equals 0, and we don't want to waste the first. We don't want to just pause in the first one. So let's also add I greater than 0. Okay, and then let's add pausing for 1 minute. So now we run this, and we'll see how it looks like. Getting data for this, pausing for 1 minute, and then we'll get the rest. And you can get now data for everything. Okay. So once this is complete, first let's look at the length of the list. It should be 7, of course. And then I'm waiting for it to complete. I guess in the meantime, like and subscribe. Okay, so then once this is done, we're going to concat with tf equals pd.concat df list. And let's look at how the df looks like after. I'm just waiting for the 1 minute. And then also, remember we had the timestamp in the ugly format. So we're going to do pd.to datetime, df timestamp unit equals microsecond, and then we'll do df.head also. So the pausing for 1 minute has been a long 1 minute. But we're going to do these steps below in a second. Okay, now it's done. The length of the list is going to be 7. We're going to concatenate it, and then we're going to show you this. So maybe I'll do df.shape actually to get the shape. See, we get like 7 times that 1500 is about this. We'll clean up the... let me just remind you how it looks like. You had the timestamp that was a little bit ugly. But now if we clean it with this thing, we get the nice format. So now we have ticker, open, high, low, close, volume, VWAP, timestamp, transactions, if it's over the counter or not. And what's optional here, I said, is like usually when you're doing analysis, you'd like to have the ticker and the timestamp as your index. So you can do df.set index ticker timestamp in place equals true. And let's look to see how it looks like. The AI has been really good lately. So you have ticker, timestamp, open, high, low, close, volume, VWAP, transactions over the counter. And then we can, of course, save to CSV, do .to CSV, and we can do daily bars for all tickers or whatever we want to call it. Okay, great. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you in the next video, and like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.